Yes, it's people, and welcome back to another video on the Bridge YouTube channel where we bring you all things Chelsea. I'm your host with the most origination here today to give you Chelsea versus Nottingham Forest review. Big game indeed, big game indeed. Probably the biggest game of the season. I mean, we say that for every single game to us at this fucking point, but hey, the game's the game. Make sure as you're coming to like, share, subscribe. Make sure tell a friend, tell a friend. Helps me on how to channel at the end of the day, as always. And also, man, make sure you're liking and subscribing yourself. And helps me out, helps the channel out as well. So listen, hope you're doing well. Hope you're all having a wonderful day today. Be it to our boy Adrian, Daniel, everyone that's here. But listen, we know why we're all here today, man. We know why we are all here today, right? And that is quite simply for one reason and one reason alone, bro. We need to do something tomorrow, right? And it's quite simple what we need to do tomorrow. Quite simply, just win. And let's hope that happens. First and foremost, listen, it's a big thing for us to win. Big things that we need to win actually at the end of the day. So this is a big fixture. First and foremost, I'm looking forward to it. Nottingham Forest obviously is not going to be an easy fixture at the end of the day today. We're going to need a lot of luck on our side, quite simply put. I think from a Chelsea perspective, whether people want to like it, admit it or not, I think the other thing we need to also talk about when we talk about this game, we haven't really been, when the pressure's been on, we haven't been able to perform, right? And example of that just recently is against Newcastle. I think we started off really slow, didn't come into that game straight away with the right mentality. Obviously against Newcastle, we concede early, We didn't have the Jackson red card antics as well. But then obviously, yes, we do recover quite well, right, and then do a job, of course, at the end of the day, right. But at the end of the day, that was too little, too late. Obviously, we've now gone on the big chance now to maybe, listen, learn from those mistakes. Again, one of the things that I do hope, particularly when you've got a young side here, is that you should be able to, learn from those mistakes, kind of improve as a team, go through it, do bigger, better, and stronger, hopefully, from it. And, that, listen, at the end of the day, you just got, I think for me, particularly in this game, you've just got to back the lads here, man. That's the best way to put it, man. You just got to go in there, get the win. I think last season, in quite a hostile environment in itself, right, where you were chasing still Europe, you're still chasing Europe at that time as well. You were able to get the job done, right? So for me, fundamentally speaking, again, again, that's you did it last season. You should be able to do it again this season, right? You still got our players have a lot of players have improved from previous season as well, and I think for me, man, I'm just putting my trust in the lads. That's the best way to put it, man. We need to get it done. I just think for me, listen, I think two things you don't want to happen is that you don't want to be the crazy fixture where you lose the fixture and then you become the fixture where the unexpected happens and you lose the game, right? You don't want that to be you, Chelsea Football Club. Firstly, right? I also think, secondly, right, that what's at stake here. You as players know you're going to be getting a 35% bonus. Think of your check too. You know what I mean? I know a lot of these players also think about their stuff from a financial standpoint, boys. So listen, that's the other thing that I wanted to say, just in terms of opening remarks about the game. Think about your pockets too, boys. 25% increase in your pockets is a big thing too, right? So that's something to also consider at the end of the day, lads. So I'm hoping they consider that too and think about their big bag, the big wallet. So don't be the crazy one. Don't do the crazy thing. Think about your wallet first and foremost, and pretty much that will be it too. As you guys may or may not know, I did go to, obviously, big up to Comic Con, Bridge Nation, man, ID badge, you know what I mean, everything like that. I'll be doing a few unboxing, obviously, of some of the stuff that I actually brought from Comic Con towards the end of the stream, of course, and everything like that. So make sure you still stay in, tune in for that. But of course, this is still the preview. Gotta talk football always first and foremost. And we'll get to that towards the end of the stream, of course. But yes, let's read some of your comments. What's good, my bro? I'm doing good. Hope you do. Hope you're having a wonderful day today. It will be a draw. A United will win against Villa. Wow, you think that's gonna happen? I've been seeing that quite a bit online, and obviously I've been seeing a lot of people say that. I'm interested as to why you believe that, my brother. So please enlighten me about that one. It's a big day for the ownership and the board and sporting directors. If you don't get easier football, sporting directors have to go because it will be a failed. It will have failed not having Champions League 3 years straight. I mean, again, can't really deny that at the end of the day. I think that's factually true. Hopefully I'll be at the game tomorrow. Oh, big up to you, Daniel, man. Hope you enjoyed the game, man. Hope you enjoyed the game. It's the last game of the season at OT. Bruno Varel, they don't want the crowd to boo. You have you on the last day while your family's in the stand. That's a good point. Good no point. And obviously, I think EPO Turf's point is that Villa never went at OT. But listen, much like how we call Chelsea Charity FC, I think United is in the business of also being Charity FC too. So you don't want that to be your team as well. So I'm just gonna also obviously just put that out there as well. I think that's also something that we need to be a bit more fair about in terms of some of the stuff we speak about. Let me just remove this thing. I don't know why. I don't know if my Xbox is just like cracked once, like it's sad to die today. Oh, fair enough. Big up to you, boy, my boy Xstar. Hope you do well. Hope you're having a wonderful day today. I think again, when I look at this type of fixture, the Chelsea fixture as well, I am looking at some players again. Again, I know that's not right of me. Some people might be like, "What do you mean?" But I do need some of the. I do need our attackers in general to step up. I don't think George, of course, is going to be starting this game, but then I do think it's going to be the main four attackers that are going to be starting: Sancho, Madueke, Neto, and Palmer. Those four in particular, they need to step up in this game. Last game, I have to be honest with you, none of those guys stepped up. It's obviously Sancho because he couldn't even play the game. Let's just remove him from the equation. But the other three, did not, was it called, yeah, that did not step up at all in that game. Madueke was missing chances, doing Mudrik tributes with all due respect, right? You had Neto, zero IQ Neto, in my personal opinion, just hitting in crosses to, the ghost of Anelka, the ghost of Drogba, the ghost of Loic Remy, the ghost of Diego Costa, if you know what I mean, right? And it's not even like he's hitting in the crosses that I always took on, the one that he can just drive into the box, right? But the ones that are, in the sky for some reason, the over the top crosses, which is not great at all, right? Which is the other one we want to talk about. I think another guy we need to talk about as well, Palmer. Yes, he had one or two moments where he created, but again, he didn't really, I think add to the game as much and into the way you want a star player like himself to do, particularly in a big game, in the United game at the end of the day. But we were luckily still able to pull through. Enzo Fernandez, I know obviously you had an issue with your eye, just like myself. But now, listen, I've recovered. You should have hopefully recovered by now, right? So please, 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 Enzo Fernandez, make sure you get back to your former self, and we can see you do your job there at the end of the day as well, right? Again, in terms of the back line, just keep doing what you're doing. Is everything I can really say at this point. But again, I think the key place that we need to talk about, right? Again, I went if you just to remind people and everything like that. I actually did go to the game against Aston the first time. Aston sorry, not Forest at home. And one of the things I always said was that in that game we were not clinical enough. Right? I felt like we gave Sales a nice day at the office. It was only at the end when we had Nkunku and Jao Felix towards the end, really pressuring him, barring the Madueke goal, that we really were a major threat towards him in goal. Right? We cannot allow that to occur again at the City Ground, which is what the Flora Stadium is called, by the way, for people who are listening. Right? We cannot allow that to happen again. So I think for me, from a fundamental standpoint, right, I'm looking at all that stuff. I need to be clinical. I need to be making sure I make my chances. The reality is, how they're gonna play. It's quite simple. They are gonna play counter-attacking football. It's as simple as that. Now you know what they're gonna play. So then I think for me it becomes a thing of, if you know how they're gonna play, how am I then gonna play to make sure I can achieve the best outcome for myself, right? That's the way you've got to look at it at the end of the day, plain and simple. Yes, I'm gonna position, but I need to be good in my position, the way I move around the ball, making sure I'm getting between the lines and getting the goal at the end of the day, right? Now, I think for me, the lineup should actually remain the same, right? You should make the lineup remain the same, in my personal opinion, and not put on Lavia. The thing about me, the thing I'm theorizing, Bridge Nation theory, I don't think the manager is willing to do 4-3-3, because I think if the manager genuinely played a 4-3-3 in this game, yeah, I think you actually increase our chances of winning. Right now, I know people probably agree with me in that. I know I'm pretty sure EPL will probably agree with me in this, right? You have to play 4-3-3 in this game, right? If you play this old formation, then I would say stick to your same guys, but you're removing Tariq George for obviously you put Neto in Tariq George's position, Sanchez on the left or the right, Madueke on the left or right, whichever one you want to do that way, right? But for me personally, if the manager wants to get this game through, he can play that formation. I think that still works. But if he wants to improve his chances, 4-3-3, you play regular 4 with Reece James on the wing as the fullback. You play Caicedo box to box, Enzo box to box, Lavia as your 6, and then you play Palmer false 9, and then you can choose between Madueke, Neto, and then you have Sancho on the other side. I think for me, that probably is much better for you for a number of reasons. Ball progression, bringing out much more of what Caicedo can do really well at the end of the day as well. I genuinely just think for me, for me, 4-3-3 might be the method. You keep Reece James and Cuckoo fullbacks as a good type of say, which I agree with. But then you have Lavia and Caicedo thingy, box to box. You can push, you can allow, and if you're not going to have Cuckoo and thingy bombing up, you can have those two there instead. You can do that job of, you know what I mean? And then Bish Bash Bong, I think it's a much more effective lineup. I don't know about you guys. Do you think the 4-3-3 thing that I'm saying is a bit of a Bridge Nation just chatting waffling? Because I do think that is probably the most logical take that I thought you could have. Bridge Net is overhyped. You can body how damn. But UCL football's overrated. You better off in Europa. Yeah. Oh, EPL. I said false nine actually. I said false nine. You play him in the false nine, and then you can choose whichever wingers you want on either side. I think for me, either way, you play whichever winger you believe is going to be much better on that side. In my personal opinion, I think for me that increases your chances. That's a much better, in my personal opinion, as well, from a lineup standpoint as well. So for me, if you're Chelsea Football Club, oh my god, what's going on today? Let's go like this. There we land. There we land. There you go. Sorry, but I don't think he's going to experiment. I don't think he's going to experiment EPL stuff either. But I was just putting obviously a formation out there that I think would be a bit more successful if you wanted to. But I think at the end of the day, EPL stuff, the lineup's going to be the same. I think the only thing that's going to change, legit, is just Tariq George for Neto, and then I think Sancho just comes into the team in his place. Tariq for Sancho, and then he just rearranges the attack to maybe have Neto in the line, and then you have guys on either side of him. So I think that's probably what's going to happen anyway. I need to see Gui in this game. Watch Joseph our strikers board, and I watch it. I think Gui is going to come off the bench. I think Nkunku is going to be on the bench too, because I think Maresca is going to be having those guys just in case, essentially, we have to break the bank, if that makes sense. Like if you're behind or if it's 0-0 and we need to get a winner, bring on Gui, bring on something else. Yeah. Oh, you think Levian's going to start in this game, Piotr? Interesting. I didn't think he was going to start in this game. I personally thought he's going to keep the same lineup and keep Lavia. Oh, that fair enough. You know what? Good point. Good point. Good point. Good point. That's a good point, bro. That's a good point. That's a good point. But listen, I think for me, from just like the discussions we're having right now, I just think for me, listen, we know what we've got to do, bro. We know what we've got to do, man. It's as simple as that, man. We know what we've got to do, man. We know what we've got to do. But listen, again, in terms of Nottingham Forest, the guys that are quality for them. Again, Callum Hudson-Odoi, we know all about my boy Callum Hudson-Odoi on the wing, Elang on the wing, pace and power, direct, can drive really well, putting good crosses into their number 9, who's been prolific this season in Chris Wood, great header of the ball. Again, we know guys like Anderson, you know what I mean? Dickheads like him, you know what I mean? You know what he's going to do. He's a dickhead of the team. Morgan Gibbs White, great creator of the team again, can keep the ball pushing, knows when to make the right pass, great creator. Again, that's I think for me, those are the guys you need to. Those 4 in particular, in the terms of the attack, you have to look at it either way. Fair enough, but either way, it doesn't matter to me, guys. I'm just speaking about in general, it's Dangerman in general, right? EPL stuff. I think Langa, Cho, Wood, obviously, Morgan Gibbs White, that's just said right now, spoken about him a bit more in detail. Anderson, of course. Yeah, I think the other guy that you need to also look at, in my personal opinion, too, of course, if he's able to play, Murillo, great defender. I don't know if he's going to be able to play or not. Obviously, we know about Milinkovic, great guy. Sells, we know what he's about. Probably best keeper in the league this season, if not number 2 behind Allison with his crazy saves. Although I think it's going to be Sells, right? I just think for me, I just look at all of that stuff. I just talk about that stuff, and I'm just like, guys, we know what we're facing. We have to do the job, bro. That's what this comes down to for me. I think for me, if we play our game right, we know the way they're gonna play. EPL stuff is just telling you, all right, Forest are part of us for the 70 minutes to keep it near no. Yes, exactly. Right. So we know how these guys are gonna play. We know what the game plan is, right? It's about us being it's about us being clinical enough, and taking our chances, bro. We gotta be. I think in the game against Forest, let me check the Forest game that we played last time. I don't think Lavia was playing for us, but I want to double check firstly. Just bear with me for a moment, chat. Premier League. Let me just do Chelsea, Forest. Just give me 1 second. More games. I want to see more. Can I not see the not Forest? 24/25. Man said do it for Jackson. You're actually a disgrace, mate. You're a disgrace for saying that EPL tough, mate. You're actually a disgrace for saying that, bro. I want to just no. I can't remember what game week it was. It was. I think it was like in Octoberish. I think game week 9. It was like one of. It was a game. It was an early schools. I can't remember what game it was. Oh, we beat. Did we face them after Newcastle? Big up to you, bro. Thanks, man. Much appreciated. So big up to our boy Keyshawn. Hope you're doing well. I'm actually looking at when we faced Forest. So you faced Forest after Newcastle. It has to have been within that period, bro, because like I remember that game quite well. It was either that or it was not November, was it? Was it mid-November? Nah, surely not. Yeah, there was no Lavi. I wanted just to double check that really. It was Leicester. Yes, it was the game after Leicester. Yes, I remember. Schools. There we land. There we land. October 6th. Thank you, mate. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. Much appreciated. It's match week 7. Wow, we faced them really early. Yo. Wow. Yeah, man. W's to him. You know what I mean? W's to him. But yeah, man, just from like a lineup standpoint in that game, yeah, we played Fernandez, Madueke, Sancho, Palmer, Caicedo, and Jack was our striker. Yeah, we did not play anyone in particular. That in fact, in that game, we had Gusto as the fullback in that game. So yeah, big up to my boy EPO Turf for just giving me that little reminder because, like, obviously in that game, one of the main issues that we had in that game actually was progression of the ball was one of them. And then the second issue that we had in that game, yeah, which when it wasn't progression, right, was that again we were just not we weren't actually very clinical enough in that game either. EPO Turf. So I think that's the other thing too. That's why again I come back to this and I'm like, listen, our attackers again last game did not step up. This game you have to be on your A game, bro. I'm not even listen. I don't even care how we win. Right, it's got to be 2 to 3 guys that just got to make it happen, bro. You know what I mean? 2 to 3 guys. I don't care if my defender scores 1 and then my attacker scores 1, but we just need to at least get 2 goals, in my personal opinion. You get 2 goals in this game, 1 goal because you have to, second goal for safety. Listen, and then again, if you can get a third, go for a fourth. But yeah, they got the red. I remember. Thank you for reminding me, bro. But yeah. But who is your CB? It's probably gonna be again. I think because it's gonna be heading here, you have to stick with Tosin. Actually, you probably would have to stick with Tosin this game. You know, I think for me, EPL tough. I hate to put it like this, but like, I think Tosin probably has to stay in the team. Then you got and Cole. It's gonna be a mixture of Tosin and Cole. Otherwise, I think for me, yeah, um, I don't know if I can trust Chalobah above those headers. That's the problem. You know what Wood's about to do. You know what these guys are about to do. Yeah, it has to be. That's what it's going to be. It's just got to be Tosin in this game. But big up to my fellow co-host who was late by 25 minutes and 17 seconds.
My bad.
You know, RSM looks like he's just done the Tour de France right now with that vest. Big up to him. You know what I mean? Is that what you've been doing, RSM?
Listen, man, I had to do yard work, bro. I was trying to get it done as quick as I could, but it is what it is. But big up, everybody.
There you go, man. Tour de France.
Yeah, but no, I agree with what you were saying. As I entered the stream, 100%. I think there's no. I mean, didn't the first game we get scored on a set piece? Or am I incorrect in saying that? We literally got scored on a set piece in the first game.
Anderson, wasn't it, that scored on a set piece against us?
So we need to, because I think while Chalobah has a lot of positives, I think his biggest glaring weakness is the aerial threat. He does not deal with aerial threats very well. He doesn't deal with crosses very well. He not only mistimes his jumps when it is those situations where they're going to play the ball up into the air on set pieces, he has lost his man a lot. So I agree with you. I think it has to be Tosin. I don't know if you talked about, what the lineup might be in terms of, are we going to try to play outer midfielders? Are we going to play Reese? Because Reese can play either one.
I think for me, someone just made the point. I just think someone made the point to me that I think Lavi's going to play this game, and I don't think Reese is going to play. And I think they're probably right about that. I think it's going to be Caicedo again, and it's going to be Lav inverting. and it's going to be Caicedo, Enzo. So I think that's probably what's going to happen
We
in this game.
we are gonna have as well the majority of possession of the ball. I don't think that Forest are necessarily going to try to propose a game to us. They haven't done that all season. I don't see why they would necessarily
Exactly.
change. So the thing that I do think is going to be the deciding factor, and where we have to be very, very careful, is to not give up any. Also, Murillo's not confirmed fit. He hasn't trained with the team. They're trying to let him rest, and they're going to decide game day whether or not he plays. They're going to throw him in if he's 75% fit, for example. They're going to throw him in because he's that crucial to their backline. But I was going to say, yeah, we have to be careful to not give up easy counterattacks. So what we need to do is be very, very careful where we lose possession and how quickly we can recover. For example, like if we lose possession, I don't want Cucurella giving like all the way inverted in the box. You feel what I'm saying? Like we need to be very careful. On the flip side, I think if we get the first goal, then I think we're golden. I think if they get the first goal, we're kind of cooked. It might be come down to who scores first, because I think whoever scores first, they're going to get a chance to either kill off the game, as the other team tries to attack. So I think that's what it's gonna come down to. Um, I just don't know if the team have it in them to be clinical again, because Sells is a very good keeper, which means we not are most likely not only going to need a quantity of chances, but we're going to need quality as well in terms of the finishing. Which is I think we've very few times this season have we gotten both in the same game, right? A quality of chances and the quality of the finish. So I mean I worry a bit. I do think that for me personally, I think this is a coin flip. I think it's 50-50. I think it ends up whoever ends up being the better team on the day wins. It's that simple, because I think both teams have the tools to hurt the other team. Both of them do. We have the tools, as we saw in the first game, right? It was Cells doing amazing saves as well as us not being clinical. However, you can see that Forest as well, they have the tools to hurt us. I mean, they did it last season, even when they were on the beach. It was a 3-2 game. Granted, obviously, it was under Podge, but it shows the fact that, they can also turn up the heat and score more than one goal if they need to.
Yeah, I'm just looking. I just think for me personally, I just look at it and I just say, you know what? I think you have to hope the players can rise up to the challenge. I think for me personally, right? I think against Newcastle, they weren't able to do that, right? But I think in this game, you've been given another chance to do so. You've got to, and I think, if you're going through this idea that these guys are learning from their experiences, then you have to learn from your experience from just 2 weeks ago at this point. So I'm hoping the team does that. I think from just a team perspective as well, you know what they're going to do. It's quite simple. You know what Nottingham Forest is going to do. So if you know what the opposition is about to do to you, you just know how you have to play a game. I just think for me, again, and I come back to this, it doesn't need to just be our attackers being clinical. Can we score a goal from a corner? Can I send back get us a cheeky goal? Then maybe one of our attackers get a random goal, a midfielder gets a random goal. I think then you start saving yourself. So I think for me, the other thing is, if you look at the last game we faced them against, right, you weren't able to penetrate as fast. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Without a guy like a Lavia, you didn't have a Reece James in that game either, right? There was a lack of penetration that you kind of get when you have those two type of players, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
With Lavia, it's about speed of play, boosting the play, able to make the passes quite fast, moving everything like that. So I think for me, from that perspective, that should be a big positive from a Chelsea perspective.
And we have, and this is where I want our wingers to be. If we're going to play Lavia Caicedo, right? I need our wingers to be more adventurous and trying to take it to the byline and put a cross in and put a ball and do a cutback. Because even if we do lose the ball, the fact that we have Lavia sitting further back as a 6 means Caicedo can win the ball further up the pitch. So we need to take that risk. We need to take the risk. You need to trust in the quality of Caicedo and Lavia being able to win the ball back, right, and stop the counter. It's for the wingers to take the risk of taking the man one-on-one, go to the byline, go for the cutback. Doesn't matter if they clear it. Doesn't matter if they try to pass out the back. We have Caicedo and Lavia there, hopefully, to be able to recover quickly and gain possession back. But if we do the timid side-to-side passing, right, if they don't want to take their man to the byline, right, let's say we play like Sancho, Nani, Neto, right, something like that. If these brothers aren't willing, to take it to the byline, to do the cutback, then we are going to struggle. Because passing side to side is not going to work against a Forest side who isn't going to press you, who is going to tell you break us down.
I mean, that's pretty much all that can be said here. I feel like at the end of the day, and like I just think for me, again, I say this, I said this a lot actually today. You know, you gotta believe in the nation, you gotta believe in the lads.
The
Let's make
lads.
it start happening. Again, we know what's at stake here. I always say, man, it's not even just UCL football that's at stake here. You know, the transfer news is at stake here. A lot of stuff is at stake here. A lot of finances at stake here. A lot's at stake here, man. Oh yeah,
Around
big up to Keyshawn.
around
I
the
actually
next 2 years of
remember
the club.
just to answer to Keyshawn. I'm probably gonna watch Saturday night main event. Probably gonna watch the CM Punk match. And I think that's pretty much it, man. I'll be honest, man. I'm not WWE, man. I'm not been feeling it recently. I'll be honest, bro. It's not been great. TV, no cap. Kukurea Cole Reese back free and pray Chris doesn't dunk on us. Yeah, you gotta hope so, man. Frost lost to Everton, Brentford at home, Drew. The key might be being average. Yeah, maybe not. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing is you know how I was watching a preview that Lewis did. We have very poor away form, right? But Forest's home form is awful.
Oh,
this entire season, I think it's like 5 out of 25, something like that. Some crazy stat like that. They've been very, very bad at home. So those two things kind of play against each other if you want to look at it that way.
Just play Conference League anthem to scare them. Fair enough. Maybe that's what you need. Yeah, thanks, man. I can't lie to you, man. Keyshawn, bro. I can't lie, man. You know what I mean? It's not looking good, bro. That's what I'm saying recently. Recently, it's not been looking good, bro. I'll be honest. Felix played well today. I don't want him to be at Chelsea. Maybe someone can buy him in the summer. Pressure is on Chelsea in this game, and the pressure don't, and the players don't handle pressure. Listen, I think that might be true. I think that Crawley ego, and I think that's a fair point. And I think for me, this is where you have to hope the players can learn from their experiences, Crawley ego.
But
right?
I would argue this is.
I was going to make this point now as well.
Go ahead.
I'll let you make it. Of course.
No, I would argue this is 2 back-to-back seasons where we're entering crunch time at the end of a season and the players show up and start getting results. If we go like 5 games back, right? People were writing us out completely out of the UCL race. People were saying I see maybe 3 points to 4 points max. And we started getting wins. We won against Everton, won against Fulham, right? We started getting wins where we won against Liverpool, right? We caught Liverpool at the right time, right? On the beach. So all of this stuff is me saying this is 2 back-to-back seasons where tail end of the season, the team starts doing what they need to do. I think the Newcastle game is unfortunate because, and this is my issues, right? With if you want to talk about the mentality and they can't handle pressure, that was pretty much Jackson. Because you look at that second half, and I think 11v11, we could get something against Newcastle. I don't know how you felt about that game, Ahmed, but that second half, we played better, literally without Jackson on the pitch than we did with him. So I think that we are going to be able to actually have a game against Forest. My issue is, once again, are we going to be clinical enough? Because I believe we will have more than enough chances in the game to score. Will we be clinical enough? I don't know.
Yeah, I think the other thing to point out, and I think big up to EPL Turf for making this point, which I agree with, is that pressure is on Forest as well. It is on Forest. There's also pressure on them. Now, I'm not saying it's pressure from their fans, because I think a lot of their fans would be happy even if they get Europa League. Let's be fair to them, right? But I think if you look at their owner, the way he's moving and stuff like that, he wants UCL football, right? And so for me,
they were also at one point 10 points clear 6th.
Yeah, so
you take that into account as well.
Yeah, so I just think for me, he's clearly trying to put pressure. The owner's got a very big pressure on both the players and the manager trying to get top 4 as well. So sorry, not top 4, but just UCL in general. So I just think for me, that's something you have to also take into account. Listen, we have our own pressure we have to deal with that we have to overcome. But that's not me. The other side does not have any pressure on them as well at the end of the day. I know what you mean, David Farr. I just think, listen, we're just going to have to get here at 4 p.m. on the stream and just watch the team do what they need to do. That's the best way to put it. Fair enough. Next out, Forest is who tumbled from. Yes, exactly. Thank you, EPL Turf. Will any Chelsea supporters be sad Hudson-Odoi scores the winner? I don't really feel like I would be sad. I just think, again, it didn't work out. It didn't work out for him at Chelsea. I just think it's quite simple. Even he went out on loan to a different side, again in the different league where I've always said was a much easier league to play in and did not perform well. So I just think for me, that's
you're wrong, man.
you know, we just need to be honest about. I think his time here. Yeah, the running talk with our last 6 games, I was hearing one win at most. The team is still very inconsistent and streaky. We had a great start of the season, horrendous mid part of the season, and a good end of the season. That's how we need to buy more game changers. I agree with this comment. So there's no.
I would argue like we need maybe one more game changer. What we need is players whose bottom floor is a steady like 7 out of 10, like Cucurella or Caicedo, for example.
Minimum top
Steady
4 level
7.
players. You need to have minimum top 4 level players. That's all it is.
Exactly. That's what we need. Yep. 100% agree.
He is he's there every match with a giant belly. Oh, all right. Listen, I'm not gonna listen. If you know about him, I'm not gonna mention anything about his.
And another thing too, I hope is that we stop, especially this game. Like against Newcastle, it was already ridiculous, right? But especially this game, we can't play the ball long all the time. If we play the ball long, there's nobody in our front line who's winning those headers, man. Who is winning those headers in our front line? Nobody, bro. So I don't want to see us doing long balls again, man. It's not conducive to us keeping possession and keeping the pressure off of us. If Sanchez keeps going long and giving the ball away, we're cooked.
Okay, that's crazy, like style. You know what I mean? That's insane. You know, British Nation cannot comment on that. You know what I mean? I'm just a civilian. I'm a civilian. Thank you. I'm just a civilian. That's what I'm gonna say. You know, my life. I'm just a civilian, man. That's all it is. But listen, in other news, you know, listen, I just don't want us to be scared like this. And I don't need to know.
This guy, man.
Scared, please. You know what I mean? Big nation will shut. You know what I mean? Do not make me look like this, Chelsea. You know what I'm saying, man? You know what I mean? I felt like an old man there. Damn. But the game's the game. Leon did not get the game time today. He's up for transfer. EPO, if you know my theories, then you know what I think is going to be happening.
But you see that he's been linked to Bayern as well, right? Heavily now.
I'm being honest with you, bro. We know he's coming, Charles, bro.
He's not coming, Charles.
He's coming, Charles, bro. I'm being honest with you. Sane is going to resign there. Even if he doesn't resign there, Leo's coming, Charles, bro. I'm willing to give you strong money. He's going to come here. Like, I actually don't think his signing even makes sense for Bayern. You literally have Elise who didn't even get into this season. Yeah, it's still going to receive a bunch of players. It legit actually doesn't make sense. I know, but listen, I'm just letting you know that, you know, he's coming to the Chelsea. Get ready for if we get UCL on Sunday, he's coming to our club. Rodrigo ain't coming to Chelsea either, by the way. I'm just going to be very honest with people as well. I think what he's if what he's demanded is true, I think for me, we know what's happening there. I know, but I'll be very real with you. If you know who his agent is, there's the reason why I'm saying Charles. That's what I'm saying. If you know who his if you know who his guy is, then you know why I'm saying why he's coming to Chelsea. That's all I'm gonna say, man. No comment after that, man. I buy you 2 pints if you get Leo when I'm in London. Please do, man. Listen, don't worry, man. Rather see João Pedro on the left than Leo. You know, I think Chelsea have a penchant of just bringing in the wrong type of people to this football club, if you know what I mean. You know, we've had racists, but we bring in João Pedro, we'll be sinking to a level lower than that. And that's saying something, if you know what I mean. That is genuinely saying something. But we mean, man. Let's just keep it pushing, man. Oh my goodness me. That is like, wow. If we bring in João Pedro to this football club, man, I don't even listen. I saw a tweet that was so outrageous that it was like, how is Reggie Walsh gonna be playing? Is he gonna feel safe against playing with João Pedro?
Yo.
No, man. That is too far, man. Even I was like, that's outrageous, man. That's an outrageous tweet. That's like, you know, in terms of dark humor, man, you got to give it a 10 out of 10. You know, Jack Grealish is not in the Manchester City squad for crucial. I did see that. I don't know. I think with him, he's probably leaving the team. I think that's just probably why. Jack Grealish transferred to rehab. Who says no? Maresca probably says no. But if you know, you know. That's what I'm saying. No, I've not heard it. Liao is trash. Liao is not trash. Liao is not good. He's declined. Again, again, as someone, as you guys now watch, I've been watching AC Milan a lot this season. I've really not watched the last two games, but Liao in general still has moments of quality, but he's not consistent. The work rate isn't there, and the reality is, guys, yeah, in this day and age, bro, you need work rate, bro. That's the one thing, yeah, that you need, bro. You need work rate, bro. Particularly in the American system, in the Premier League and stuff like that. It's really mad tough. Chelsea don't have a striker to compete on Murillo and Milinkovic of Forest. That's going to be an issue. I think that's a good point, Sean. But I actually think that might actually work to our advantage, I was thinking about this, yeah. But if you're, the type of strikers that I think can work really well against a Forest, yeah, it's a striker that's a bit more streakier, a bit is not got it's got a low sense of gravity, doesn't need to get physical with them, but can use their pace to really, just like kind of move apart from them, has a bit more agility of them as well. I just think that that's the type of guy you probably might be a little bit more effective against them, if you know what I mean. Like again, it's also about effectivity as well.
Yep.
Depending on the striker Chelsea sign as a start next season, I'll most likely unsubscribe from Chelsea for a few seasons. Fair enough. Oh, fair enough, David. Ahmed, you better be going to the bridge tomorrow. Why would I be going to the bridge? The game's not even there. It's at Nottingham Forest.
The protest, bro.
There's a protest tomorrow?
I'm just joking with you. I have no clue. I don't know why you'd be
I
going to the
was
bridge
saying,
tomorrow.
like, what? What's happening? Like, what? That's yeah. You need work rate, aka Galadog. I don't even think you need work rate in this game. I think in this game, bro, yeah, you just need to be effective.
The Forest are not going to be ball heavy, so we don't need the work rate. They're not. We're not going to be chasing them around.
I just don't. Can I just say, EPO, this idea that he wants a smaller squad? He can. I've seen him say this on a consistent basis. Yeah. I just keep on looking at it. I'm just wondering, does he know what that's going to entail to his team, and if they can even handle what a small squad is? That's the one thing, yeah, that I've always said about Pep. Yeah, I don't think when he keeps on saying smaller squad, yeah, I don't think that works in this day and age. That's just the one thing I have to.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just waffling it.
No, but we know that he's stubborn though. We know he's stubborn as hell. So it's one of those things where you have even his own players. Like remember before Rodri got injured, he was literally saying like, "Yo, like this fixture congestion is
Boss
killing us."
reacts. Big up, man. Neto up front. I'll send you the link. Garnacho or Liao. I don't think either. I think Liao's more likely than Garnacho if you get used to
The
football.
gunshot to the head, bro.
You know what I mean? One injury and Pep will cry about his small squad. Legit. That's why. That's why for me personally, I really don't see. You know. You know what I mean? I just don't see it. Yeah. Like people need to stop listening to what Pep says in the media. Yeah, I think I agree with this because like I just think you're going into a Club World Cup, you can't have a small squad for that. So he said he will leave if no smaller squad. La la la. Yeah, I know. I just think for me, again, I just don't think that to be true. But lovely. But listen, I think at the end of the day, listen, we move. We're gonna be seeing what happens and everything like that. But like to rotate, he ran Rodri to the ground. Yeah, and he paid for it quite dearly, didn't he? So one thing I always say, yeah, the one type of manager that I don't rate respect is the one that does not realize the mistakes that he made last time. You know what I mean? And he should be doing that. You cannot replace him. Yes, exactly. Transfer talk. No, but listen, enough Bridge Nation transfer talk. Here at the end of the day, I'm gonna listen predictions. I think isn't it not at the Bridge 258 CFC? It's at the Bridge 258. It should be in the Twitter. If you just go into my YouTube thing, it should send you straight to my Twitter anyway. So I can just get from that straight away. Thank you. But as I was saying, bro, listen, I want to hear your predictions. My prediction for the game. I'm gonna back the lads. I'm gonna say 2-1 Chelsea.
Yeah, to be honest, I agree. I think it's gonna be a 2-1. I think we are going to go ahead with the first goal. They're gonna equalize, and then we're gonna get the We're gonna get the second. However, what Lucas said could also happen. A 1-0. Because he's not wrong. It's been a very, very, and this is my biggest point. I think if we score the first one, we could see a 1-0 out because it's been a very long time since a team, taking away the Newcastle result, right? Because we were literally a man down. It has been a very long time since a team has scored 2 goals on us. Like Ipswich, but other than that, like Tottenham scored none. Arsenal only scored 1. You feel me? Fulham scored 1. Everton nothing. Liverpool scored 1. We've been a way better defensive side recently, which is why I think it's so important that we get that first goal to give the team the belief that there is something in them for this game. If we start fluffing shots, if we start missing chances, and then we go 1-0 down, I do see heads going down a bit because you're gonna feel like, why did we not go ahead? Right now we have this mountain to climb. I'd rather us go up ahead early in the first and then see what we're able to do from there. Because then once Forest has to come out, Forest have not practiced being on the front foot, having to have the ones to be the ball and break down a team, which means if we do catch them in transition, their transition defense might be a bit sus. Exactly. That's where I think we can find some joy next game, but we'll see.
Listen, man, we just need it to happen, bro. We just need it to happen in this game, bro. And that's been what it just comes down to, bro. We need it to happen. It's a big game.
It's interesting. There's been a lot of talk, right? And a lot of people ask a lot of Chelsea fans. I wonder what you think about it. They're saying, like, if you could choose, right, would you rather win this or win the Conference League final?
The thing is, losing the Conference League final
is nasty work.
It's not even just nasty work. I think it's worse than that. That's the problem.
It's shameful. That's what I'd call it. It's shameful.
Like an all-time low for the club, I'll be honest. And there's been a lot of all-time lows for the club. So
agreed.
I don't even know how you even react to that. Like losing to Betis, like it would be an all-time low. But if you get UCL football, you still attract players. So you don't have to UCL football. I hate to put it like that, but listen,
you're not wrong.
I wouldn't mind that. If you confirm UCL football, you lose the Conference League. But if you lose the Conference League, you have to start Maresca, by the way. That's what you have to do.
Yes.
I don't care.
Okay. You know what? I agree because people have been saying, right? Like,
that's what you would have to do. I don't care.
Yes. No, I agree because people ask me that question as well, right? Because I've been on streams and stuff. And they'd be like, okay, what would you take? And me personally, I was like, for the long-term success of the club, I think the Champions League is more necessary because obviously it will be a blemish on our European record, right? That we have lost the Conference League. But if we don't get the Conference League, then we're in a bad spot, bro. We're in a very, very bad spot. And if we do lose the Conference League, I've always said, like, if Maresca can't win the Conference League, then he is not fit to win the Prem, to win a cup, to win anything. He has to go because you're not gonna get more of a layup than the Conference League. Respectfully.
Yeah, I just think for me, bro, we need CL for a number of reasons, bro. Financially, our thing is just too tied to it. So you have to make sure you confirm that. If you lose Conference League, though, after that, then the manager needs to go. It doesn't matter. There's no excuse for that, brother. Like, you just got to go, bro. Like, again, I always talk about unforgivable acts in football, yeah? I think when you're a big club, an unforgivable act that you cannot come back from. Like, this is why, by the way, I'm surprised Amran is still in a job, by the way.
Yes, yeah. I was about to bring that up.
Yeah.
Yep.
When you lose to certain teams, it becomes unforgivable. That's just the way I put it.
Yep.
Forest. I did see a van Gary Neville.
W.
I did see that. Obviously, positive in general, but like again, is that like, dude, you're gonna backfire on them? You know what I mean? Sometimes, bro, when you do some of these crazy stuff.
You know what it is though? Like, they're definitely going to. Sky Sports is not going to take lightly to this. There's definitely going to be repercussions in the future. We just don't know what it is.
And the Premier League themselves might be doing a little bit of repercussions too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's going to be consequences. We just don't know what it is.
Yeah, I think we won 1-0. Fair enough. I agree with this. 3-2. Replica of last year, Google instead of Jackson. Fair enough. 4-1. Fair enough.
God, a 4-1 would be so nice, man. We can actually enjoy the game.
You can enjoy the game, mate, tomorrow, man. I'll be in heaven. I'll be honest, mate. Conference League is worth nothing. If we win, I need to see the live footage of the Nottingham Forest owner walking onto the pitch after. Listen, no comment, man. I don't wanna, put that in the air, bro. If you apparently Ronaldo wants to join a club for the Club World Cup, hell no.
Hmm.
Fair enough. I will check it out in a bit. Thank you, CSE Ernie. We will win both. Morosco needs to win the next 2 games. No excuses. In the short term, it won't hurt as bad, but in the long term, it hurts a lot because, yeah, I agree with that too. Fair enough. Conference League lost optics are horrendous last mile. The thing is, Extal, yeah, losing Conference League, I just think from a Chelsea standpoint, is not, I always talk, I think people a lot of the time
Hmm.
focus too much, yeah, you know what I mean, on optics. I think it's not even just an optic standpoint. I just think it's about, you know, I hate to use the term standard, but it is a standard, bro. You know what I mean? When you're a big club, there's certain checkpoints that you have to just guarantee. That makes sense, right?
That's
Now,
why
there
it's
may be times where you cannot guarantee that, which is fair enough, right? But in some of those cases, you just got to guarantee it for this one, though.
Yep.
No
That's why
one
it's also
Forest,
unforgivable. Like, if for example, like Amram, even if he did win Europa, bro, 16th is still should be a sackable offense, bro, for a big club.
for the budget rebuild. I have to say, man, the budget rebuild, I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm going to just wait and see. I'm going to see what happens. One on Wusin says Chelsea drop points. Fair enough.
But the thing is, even if we draw, Forest is
Steven,
still eliminated 100%. We could potentially get through with a draw. Forest have no options where a draw gets them UCL. Zero.
no, Strasbourg have got Europe. They just got Conference
Strasbourg got
League, EP.
conference. Yeah, Strasbourg got
just got
conference, bro.
League. EPL tough. So they are in Conference League. So you know, big up to them. PSG wouldn't give them and guaranteed them Conference League, so they now have Conference League football. So big up to them. So listen, that which is the big W for them, man. Big W for them, man. That's a competition that they can win. Yes, they did. They won 3-0. If I'm not mistaken. That's last time I checked. Let's double check now.
No, they did 3-0. Yeah. 2 Barcola, 1 Hakimi.
Yeah, man. So yeah, they just won. Oh, fair enough. You probably just saw that they won. Yeah. So listen, big up to them. I just think for me again, listen, just tying the bow on the Nottingham Forest game, guys. You know, if I had to make a speech, lads, please focus. You know, please make sure you can do your job quite clearly. Please listen, rise to the challenge. That's all I'm gonna ask for the lads. You know, they've got to rise to the challenge.
Robert Sanchez, bro. Robert Sanchez. I'm gonna let you know right now, brother.
Let's not
mess up this game, bro.
Let's not use
Let's not do
it. Yeah, but like, please, guys, let's rise to the challenge. That's what we need to do.
This man said did to my pod. You're hilarious, bro.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm just not gonna just embrace that. I hope so, Abel Schwartzman. I hope so. Respect Lord Bob. Fair enough. But listen, it is what it is. Listen, I did say with the last few minutes we are gonna do a bit of an unboxing. Like, I brought a lot of stuff actually from Comic-Con. I can't believe I only came home like 10 minutes ago. I'll be honest with you. I am like genuinely not even tired right now. I just had like a lot. I just had too much fun. If that makes sense. But nice day out, nice video out. We had to talk transfer rumors. There's no point of talking transfer rumors until Monday. We have to save it for Monday.
No, for example, I think of what, like 2 days ago, we're talking to Joao Pedro, and then today, I think reports came out that we have not talked at all about Joao Pedro. Yeah, right here. See if Ben Jacobs, literally, Chelsea have not held any talks and are not exploring a deal for Joao Pedro. Literally, before we get the results on Sunday, there's no point. Everything is people just trying to throw stuff at the wall and get clicks. That's it.
Again, I think with Chelsea, he just, again, we know that the Club World Cup is starting from Monday. It'll be 3 weeks from Monday, right?
Yep.
We're going to be seeing a lot of movement happening quite soon, right? Obviously, there's been other clubs that have been moving quite fast, in terms of Liverpool, Wirtz, Kirkes, and Frimpong, right? So I think of Chelsea and a lot of these other teams that haven't moved as fast is because of the fact, again, none of these teams have Champions League football yet confirmed. So they have to confirm where they're going to be before they then start making bids, transfers, and talk, if that makes sense. So that's just the way the cookie crumbles, lads. Is it for kids only? Brother, it's 18 plus, bro. What are you talking about? The kids can come, of course, but like, it's like Peggy 16, if that makes sense. Again, but this is I don't know how else to put it, but this is the way the world works, Stephen. So Also, all of the transfer links are looking like smoke screens. I just think the transfer stuff we're seeing right now, I think it just depends on, again, what are we looking at, if that makes sense, right? Is it like a Chelsea transfer? Is it like a Europa League one? What are we looking at, if that makes sense? So here's where it's Pedro took the kids FC to literally oh my god, flipping out style. Stephen Michaels and American ownership just won the league. Yeah, man, listen. That's the way. Listen, that's what's happening these days, isn't it? So I don't know what else to tell you about that. Only James can win tomorrow's match. Listen, Palmer can do that too. I'll be honest with you. If Palmer's smart, he will do that job tomorrow. He can rise to that challenge too. Who's the number one option at striker? In terms of like striker option, number one option, it's difficult. It's difficult. I'm gonna leave a lot of this transfer talk, guys. Again,
We play Wednesday, right?
yes, you play Wednesday.
The conference final. Yeah, okay.
It doesn't matter about conference final, but listen, by the time we find out what we are in Champions League on Sunday,
No. I was just asking in general, just for my schedule.
yeah. Again, I'll be real with you. Monday, we will know. I did see that, yeah, which is quite interesting. Burley said he could play up front. He could play up front.
No, Bully made a joke, man.
Santos, fair enough. Yeah, but listen, Napoli getting Jonathan David again. Listen, I think we're gonna get two strikers, in my personal opinion. I don't think the João Pedro thing is like a bad thing. Does that make sense? I think it just more so shows to me that the club is getting ready to buy two strikers, in my personal opinion. I think Jackson's, as I said before, the Jackson sale is happening. It's gonna happen. So some people to get ready for that one. But we need. But in terms of like other stuff that we need to talk about and stuff like that, I mean, what is there to say, man? What is there to say? Yeah, he's going from the club, I think, in my personal opinion.
Yep.
I think Nkunku and Felix out. I definitely am.
It could go 1,000,000%.
Imagine if you had worse in this club, man. Damn. I'm interested.
Where would words play? Legitimately.
Huh?
Where would words play? And then what happens? And then what happens to Palmer?
He plays on the right. See, the answer is always there. I think for me, the yield is rumor. You know, ever since he got a report that we've been, I think he's coming to the club. You know, there's a gut feeling I've got that Yield is going to be our guy for the that's going to come to the team. And I don't know if you saw, but I think Sancho is not getting re-signed. I don't know if you saw that, by the way.
No, I did see that. Well, that was United like source saying that, but
and that's big news, but that's real news, by the way. So, like, and I said to people before, man, if he's not coming, you now need two left wingers now.
Because Mudryk is gone. I don't care what you want to tell me. They already know the results.
There's no point of this. I feel like talking about Mudryk at this point is like start talking about chicken. You know what I mean? It tastes good. It's always going to be there. There you go. That did not work, but you know we're just going to keep it pushing. That's just smooth. All right, fair enough. Yeah, man. But listen, Sanchez been linked with Leverkusen. Wow, really interesting. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. That was a bit of a howler in terms of what I was planning to do in terms of showing off Bridge Nation skills. But listen, the game's the game. You know, it is what it is. I'm just gonna be honest with you, chat. I'm worried right now. I don't know if I can sleep tonight. I'll be very honest with you. I don't know if I can even sleep at 4 p.m. I'm gonna probably be. I'm probably gonna need to take something to go to sleep. I don't know what that's going to be yet. It's going to be certain chemicals. It might have to be. It's got to be some drugs.
What time is the game at for me? Let's see.
Oh, it's 4 p.m. for me, so it's going to be. It's pretty much. It's not
that bad. It's like 11, I think.
So listen.
Yeah, it's going to be. That's nice, man.
I'm gonna have to take a lot of stuff. You know, just in general. If you know what I mean. But I'm just going to be very honest about it. You know, I need stuff to happen. I am really, listen, I literally contemplate. I'm gonna do the stream. It doesn't matter what I say to myself. I'm gonna do the watch along. You know what I mean? I don't care if I judge it or not. You know what I mean? There shouldn't be any judging this game. I'll be very honest about that at the end of the day.
No judgment.
Yeah, there shouldn't be any judging this one. So it just gotta make it happen at the end of the day. I just think for me, please Chelsea, don't let me down, mate. I'll be honest, man. I might be like jumping all around the stream. I might be standing up for this game. That might be how
Ain't no way.
I'm gonna stand up for the stream, bro. Like I'm gonna probably be. The thing is, yeah.
I mean, go buy one of those. You gonna get one of those fancy standing desks, bro.
Listen, in life, I don't actually usually get stressed in life. When I do my exams, when I was doing my master's degree, when I was doing my not regular GCSEs, A levels, masters, everything like that, I was able to sleep like a baby because I'm always confident, yeah, when it's myself. You know what I mean? When it's the Bridge Nation and I need to do the job to get the job done, I can sleep like a baby because I know I will get the job done. You know what I mean? But when it's people I have to support, I don't know about that. That's the one the nurse kicking.
Yo.
Yeah, so I'll be honest, man. So it is what it is. Like RSM might be the one that's really doing the karma thing now instead of myself. But listen, it is what it is. We'll move. But we are going to be redirecting you guys to what's his name? Oh my god,
Marshall
FC. Oh my god, Casually FC.
Casually FC.
Yeah, there we go. Casually FC. Built up to my guy Marshall. We're going to be on there. You know how time it starts. It always starts at 10:15. You know what it is. Marshall's a slow poke. You know what I mean? He doesn't like to start at 10 a.m. He likes to start at 10:15 for some reason. You know what I mean? He's a wanker. You know what? Yeah, let's put into the comment section. Yeah, Marshall is a wanker. Let's go, man. You know what I mean? Let's put into the comment section. Marshall is a wanker, please. That's all. And we move. So please, we move. Big up to everyone that's here as always. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Bridge out. RSM TV out. We'll see you here. I think we'll start the stream at 3 p.m. So 3 p.m. Love and guidance, big man. Peace. And blessings. And